incident that involved Dr. Baker, my treating psychiatrist at the time. I think it was roughly around 2005 to 2006. Basically, I was, because I was being hacked all the time on the internet while I was searching for police corruption stuff, basically getting hacked to when I was finding stuff, and because my computer's been monitored, I had to start using hotel rooms, and I booked a hotel on Murray Street, and basically started doing searches because basically the internet there gets released in block releases. Like hotels have their own internet sort of like Wi-Fi sort of thing, and it comes in blocks so you can hide amongst it. And basically on the internet there I found MySpace and Gen, which I suggesting is Jennifer Richmond, my girlfriend that was an advocate for me, that I'm suggesting as well as a police informant and possibly even a prostitute undercover. And the bottom line is that on MySpace side, I saw one of the profiles there was called Bentley, and I did some searching there, and it seemed as though with the evidence there was Dr. James Baker, my psychiatrist, being Bentley at Bentley Hospital in reference to, and they were on the same MySpace. So I rang up Bentley Hospital and I went to speak to Dr. Baker, and basically said to him about the MySpace site, and I said, basically, geez, are you guys seeing my girlfriend as well, etc., as a joke, and basically spoke for another minute or so, etc., etc., and then basically said goodbye, and that was it. And basically, while I was having that conversation, my neighbour Ronald Jonker was with me in the hotel room, and he heard the whole conversation that I had with the doctor. And after about half an hour in the hotel room, Ronald went home, and basically 3 hours later he rings me up and says, "Mate, you wouldn't believe it, the 25 police officers with semi-automatic weapons, rifles, etc., raided the house while my son and Levi were there, his son, they're both kids about 15 years of age, and they had guns pointed at them, etc., etc., like a massive raid." And I was like, geez, what's all that about? And I was just, I just was dumbfounded about why the police were raiding my house. And so what I did was I contacted my local Member of Parliament, John McGrath, who really hasn't assisted me at all, but there'll be another video about basically John McGrath's office shortly to follow. And basically I asked John McGrath to contact Bentley Hospital on my behalf, and to find out what was going on there, and if you could, because I had basically left the hotel room and fled and went to a safe house where I was on the run from the police and Bentley Hospital, and because I didn't know what was going on. And John McGrath, after about a couple of days, returned the call to me and basically told me that Dr. Baker said that when I rang up I made threats to shoot John Howard. Now that's absolute bullshit, and totally delusional on my doctor's part. They're suggesting I suffer from delusional disorder. The bottom line is that what my doctor was suggesting was so far from the truth, and of course I had my neighbour as a witness, and after 2 months of being on the run, etc., we organised with the hospital and John McGrath to come into the hospital and sort out this problem. And after I'd been on the run and had to leave my family, my son was taken care of by the neighbours, and basically split my family up and disrupted my family from normal family life, and turned into a very negative, terrible experience being on the run. And basically we went to the hospital. My neighbours got up and told them that basically that was a whole heap of bullshit, and I didn't say anything whatsoever to do with shooting John Howard, etc., like Dr. Baker suggested. And the hospital just went, no problems. And my 2 months on the run was as if that was just like whatever. That's nothing. And my doctor never had to explain himself. He never got in trouble. And the hospital did not disbelieve my neighbour, etc. Now John McGrath should have been. He was there. This was done right in front of him, and John McGrath should have been all over that. Like, the bottom line is that for me to spend 2.5 months on the run and have a raid as huge as that, a waste of the taxpayers' money, etc. And the bottom line is that for the doctor to get away with that, it was absolutely disgusting. And I was allowed to go back home, and as if nothing ever happened, and as if his bullshit didn't. There should be no penalty for or question marks, major question marks, into why he would have said that. Basically, I'm suggesting that what I suggested to him in the first place about the MySpace site and him sharing it with my girlfriend at the time, who was a police informant, Jennifer Richmond. The bottom line is that I'm suggesting that that was 100% on the money, and the bottom line is that's why they felt threatened, and that's why they went about the actions that they did. Total corruption, beyond the shadow of a doubt. Why have I got so many stories like this? It's disgusting.